The grand hall of the Galactic High Council shimmered with silver light. Over 100 alien races filled the chamber, each wearing robes, armor, or breathing through masks. It was the most important place in the galaxy where peace was kept. And wars were ended. But on this day, peace would break. At the center of the room stood Earth's ambassador, Lena Verma. She was calm, standing tall in her black uniform. Behind her was a floating sphere that held Earth's flag, a blue and green world with a thin white ring of clouds. Around her, the other council members whispered and stared. Some looked angry, some looked afraid. A voice boomed from the high chair of the Arkan Dominion. Earth has violated Protocol 9. You have built weapons beyond the limits. Dark weapons. Reality-breaking technology. Alina's eyes did not move. We have broken no law. Show us proof. The hall grew quiet. No one showed anything. The accusation was enough. Another voice spoke, this time from the scaled Empress of Quarlax. We saw your ships disappear from sensors. You can move without wormhole gates. Is forbidden. Alina's voice was steady. We did not ask for the gates. We found another way. You did not help us, so we built alone. The Arkan leader slammed his clawed hand on the table. Enough. Earth will be punished. You are no longer part of this council. A loud vote was called. One by one, the members raised their lights. Blue meant peace. Red meant punishment. Red. Red. All of them, no one stood with Earth. Alina did not shout. She did not beg. She reached into her coat and placed a small data chip on the table. This contains what we learned. Maybe one day you'll understand it. She turned and walked away. No. Guards stopped her. Words followed. She passed through the long hallway of Zenith Prime, the capital station of the Council. It orbited a white sun and was protected by 1,000 defense satellites. But no one stopped her. The silence was louder than any war. Back on her ship, she gave a simple order. We're done. Her second-in-command, a gray-haired man named Commander Harlan, looked at her. All of it? Alina nodded. They made their choice. Now we make ours. The ship turned and left, not through any gate, but through a silent burst of folded light. One moment it was there, the next it was gone, leaving no trail behind. On Zenith Prime, the council leaders met again. Some laughed, some drank, some felt proud. They had removed a threat, they thought. But one young assistant noticed something strange. The data chip Alina left. It was glowing. The council tried to scan it, but every scanner failed. One tried to touch it, but their hand froze midair. The chip floated into the air and projected a message. It was Alina's voice. To those who feared us, thank you. Your fear pushed us to grow. To those who hated us, thank you. Your hate showed us who we never want to become. To those who were silent, thank you. Your silence was louder than any attack. She paused. Her voice grew colder. Now, we walk alone, and you will feel what that truly means. The chip turned black, then vanished. In the following weeks, strange reports came from the edge of the galaxy. An Earth science ship, once thought missing, was seen near a neutron star right before the star vanished. No explosion, no radiation. Merchant fleet from the Roe Syndicate was found torn apart. No burn marks, no escape pods. Only one symbol carved into the command deck. Earth's flag. The council tried to investigate, but nothing worked. Probes failed. Ships lost power near the Sol system. Drones sent to Earth never returned. Then one day an old Alliance explorer sent a message. There's nothing here. No Earth, no Mars, no Moon. The entire system is gone. The council dismissed it as a trick until more ships confirmed it. The Sol system was empty. It had been erased. No one knew how. No one knew when. Earth had vanished. But across the stars, a new signal was being picked up. 3 words. Simple. Cold. Final. We remember everything. And from that moment on, fear began to spread, not of war, but of silence. Of the quiet humans who once sat among them. The ones they betrayed and the ones who now walked alone. 3 weeks had passed since the Council exiled Earth. In that time, the galaxy moved on or tried to trade routes resumed. Council members laughed again. The Arkan Dominion claimed victory, saying Earth had been arrogant and dangerous. News channels called it a necessary decision for peace. But beneath the surface, something wasn't right. Patrol ships sent to ward. The Sol system stopped reporting. First, it was just 1 or 2, blamed on solar storms. 8, 5, then 10. A scout vessel from the Krail Alliance was the first to return with strange news. "There is no Earth," the captain said. The council laughed at the report. "What do you mean, no Earth?" they asked. "I mean, the Sol system is gone." The Krail footage showed it clearly. A flight path straight toward where Earth should be. The ship approached slowly, sensors wide open. When it reached the coordinates, there was nothing. No sun, no planets, no dust. Just black. The area was cold and silent, like something had swallowed the entire system whole. The council ordered more ships to investigate. A fleet of 12 was sent from the Arkan Dominion. Ready for anything, they never came back. Only one small signal burst out of the black. A soft Earth voice repeating the same 3 words. "We remember everything." Panic began to spread, not loudly, but quietly. Council members whispered in dark rooms. Scientists tried to explain the disappearance. Some said Earth used gravitational cloaking. Others thought they had built a pocket dimension. A few believed they had destroyed their own star out of pride, but none of the theories could explain what the Krail ship saw next. On its return trip, the scout passed by the old mining station on Ceres. In the asteroid belt, Ceres was supposed to be empty, abandoned after Earth was banned, but the station wasn't empty. It was new, rebuilt, and watching, a giant structure hung in orbit, black. Sharp, silent, no engine, no lights, but it tracked. The Krail ship, the crew sent one scan, then the station moved. It didn't fire, it didn't chase, it simply turned and vanished. The Krail ship returned with that. Its footage, the council called it fake, but other witnesses came forward. Traitors, pirates, even smugglers. They all spoke of dark ships, human ships floating at the edge of systems. Always watching, never speaking. A merchant captain told the council, "They don't use gates, they just appear. 1 second, there's nothing. Then they're right in front of you." Council grew nervous. They had taken Earth's voice, Earth's seat, Earth's rights, but they hadn't taken Earth's power, and now that power was hidden. Moving in silence, the Arkan Dominion sent a message to every major power. Earth is planning revenge. We must strike first. A new war fleet was assembled. 70 ships, built for deep space combat, equipped with the latest sensor arrays. They were sent to find Earth, to force them to show themselves. To stop whatever was happening before it spread, they vanished within 4 hours. Not destroyed, not exploded, just gone. Their last recorded message was static. And then a voice. One word. Stop. At that moment, across 10 sectors, something terrifying happened. All wormhole gates shut down, every gate connected to Earth's old. Trade routes blinked out, cut clean from the grid. Engineers couldn't reboot them. AI systems glitched. And in place of gate data, one symbol appeared. Earth. Just the image of Earth. No words, no signals, just a spinning blue planet on every screen. The council called an emergency meeting. Hall at Zenith Prime filled once again. But this time, no one laughed. "Earth has become a threat," said the Arkan leader. "They were always a threat," whispered the Empress of Quarlax. "They are hiding." "Cowards," said another. "No," spoke a calm voice from the shadows. It was Admiral Lithra the Sindari. "They're not hiding. They're watching." Everyone turned to him. He continued. "They didn't vanish. They evolved. While we feared them, they prepared. While we plotted against them, they built something we don't understand. And now, we're the ones being hunted." Silence followed. Then a message came through. Not from a ship, not from a relay. It appeared on every screen. In every station across the galaxy, a human voice calm, unshaken, we offered peace. You chose fear. We offered unity. You chose power. We walked away so you could live. Then the signal ended. No location, no trace. Just a final sentence printed on every wall, every console, every datapad. We are still here, just not where you're looking. And with that, a new fear took hold of the galaxy, because the truth had finally settled in. Earth had not been defeated. Earth had simply disappeared. And now, the galaxy was alone in the dark with something it could no longer see. The galaxy had changed. No one spoke of Earth openly anymore. Not in meetings, not in news channels, not even in private. The name itself had become a shadow, something that made even the strongest captains pause. But the fear didn't come from what Earth had said, it came from what it did next. They started with the outer systems, fringe colonies that once traded with Earth. Ships went missing. Spaceports were shut down. Communication arrays were cut clean, like they had never existed at first. The Council blamed pirates. Then one survivor came back. Captain Rello, of the Zarthi Dominion, had been commanding a patrol near the edge of the Syrinx Belt. His ship had 300 crew members, a full escort, and advanced cloaking tech. He returned alone, in an escape pod. Half mad, barely breathing. They asked him what happened. He said only 3 words. They found us. When the doctors scanned his mind, they found a memory recording. The Council reviewed the footage in silence. It showed a black ship, massive and silent, emerging from nowhere. No engines. No lights, no sound. It didn't fire, it didn't hail it. Simply moved toward them. One of the patrol ships locked weapons, and the next second, it was gone. No explosion. No debris. It just vanished from the screen. The rest of the fleet panicked. They tried to run. Every ship disappeared one by one, just like that, erased only. Raylo's escape pod was left behind. The Council tried to keep the footage secret, but it was too late. More sightings came in, all across the galaxy. Ships described the same thing. Silent black vessels shaped like sharp blades. Some were the size of cities, some were small and fast. But all of them carried no markings, except for one. The Earth emblem. A single blue planet, surrounded by a silver ring. They were being called something new now. The Ghost Fleet, no one knew where they were coming from. They didn't use wormholes. They didn't appear on radar. Even AI couldn't track them. They just showed up, sometimes near Council outposts, sometimes near mining stations, sometimes near moons where old human colonies once lived. Every time they were seen, something disappeared. And every time, they left behind the same message, burned into metal, carved into walls, etched into shattered holes. You turned your back. Now we turn away. Fear spread faster than any fleet. The Arkan Dominion tried to organize a trap. They sent fake signals, hoping to bait the Ghost Fleet. Instead, their command ship was found floating in space, gutted from the inside, with every crew member in stasis. Not dead, not alive, just frozen. The Korlax tried to jam human frequencies. Their homeworld lost power for 6 minutes. When power returned, their moon was gone. No trace, no damage, just peace. The Council met again. Fewer members attended this time. Some had gone into hiding. Others refused to speak. One leader asked. The question everyone feared, what does Earth want? No one answered, because deep down, they all knew. Earth didn't want war. It didn't want territory. It didn't want revenge. It wanted silence. And silence was worse than war. In the quiet, old secrets began to resurface. A forgotten science station. Near the core released a file that had been hidden for years titled Project Ghostlight. It was a joint experiment. Council scientists and human engineers working on advanced quantum movement travel beyond normal space. The project was shut down after Earth protested its use. The Council continued it anyway, in secret. When Earth found out, it left the program. Quietly, 3 months later, The lead Arkan scientist vanished. Now the data showed something terrifying. Earth had cracked the code. They could move through folds of reality, touchable, unseen, uncatchable, and the ships now appearing across the galaxy. They weren't just weapons, they were warnings. The Ghost Fleet wasn't attacking. It was showing what Earth was now capable of. One council scientist said it best. We're not being hunted, we're being studied. Watched, like we're children playing with fire and the adults have come back home. The council sent out a message to Earth's last known frequency. They begged for talks. They offered apologies. They asked for peace. There was no reply. But across 100 star systems, at the exact same time, human ships were seen for the first time in formation, not cloaked, not hiding, just waiting, thousands of them. Floating in silence, and on every communication screen, just one final message. We remember. Do you? And then just like that, they vanished again. War was coming. Everyone knew it. The council chambers buzzed with fear. Every empire, big and small, had one topic on their minds. Earth. Not because of what humans had said, because of what they hadn't. Earth was silent. Its ghost fleet was still out there, vanishing and appearing across systems. No attacks, no invasions, just watching. But that silence was louder than any battle cry. The Arkan Dominion was the first to break. They demanded immediate action, a preemptive strike against the Ghost Fleet. If they waited, they said Earth would strike first, and the galaxy would fall before it even had a chance to fight back. Other empires agreed. They started building warships again, bigger, stronger, faster. New AI systems were uploaded. Emergency fleets assembled in secret. Within weeks, nearly every power in the council had prepared for war. They even gave it a name. It's the Silent War. But Earth did not respond. Not a single message. Not a single broadcast. Just the Ghost Fleet, floating silently in the shadows. Then came the first move. On the edge of the Lernek sector. Near an old Terran mining colony, 5 fleets gathered, 600 ships from different empires. They didn't wait for diplomacy. They wanted to send a message. The fleets moved in together, weapons charged, targeting systems locked, and then everything stopped. Literally every ship froze. Not physically, but digitally. Weapons shut down. Shields deactivated. Lights flickered. Command decks went dark. Every screen showed the same thing, a single sentence in human standard text. Do not fire. This is your only warning. Panic spread through the fleet. Captains screamed at their systems engineers tried to reboot. Nothing worked. Then the Ghost Fleet appeared. 13 ships.
Are they not many?
But they moved like shadows surrounding the council fleet. No shots were fired. No ships destroyed. The Ghost Fleet just circled. One of the human ships opened its side. A massive screen unfolded into space, and a voice played. A human voice, clear, cold. You prepare for war. We prepare for balance. You build fleets. We study stars. You seek control. We walk free. The voice paused. Then it said, this war will never start, because we won't let it. Suddenly every ship's AI on the council fleet rebooted without command. And they all spoke at once, in different languages. Different voices, but the same message. Do not fight them. They see everything. The ships turned around by themselves. Engines shut down. The fleets had no choice but to drift helplessly in space, completely locked out of their own systems. The Ghost Fleet disappeared, again vanishing like fog in sunlight. Eventually, control returned to the council ships. But by then, the message was clear. They weren't in control anymore. Back at Zenith Prime, the council held a secret session. The Archon leader shouted, they've taken over our AIs. They've hacked our ships. The Quarlax Empress whispered, no, they didn't hack us. They rewrote the rules. Council scientist, pale and shaking, showed new data. The Ghost Fleet wasn't just hiding. It was operating in a new layer of space, a kind of folded dimension that allowed them to watch everything, everywhere. Nothing could be kept secret anymore. Every weapon system, every fleet movement, every council message Earth saw it all. And they hadn't destroyed anything. They just stopped it. Another report came in. Hundreds of small human drones had been found on planets across the galaxy, silent machines, planted near power stations, government buildings, military bunkers. They weren't weapons. They were eyes. The galaxy had become a glass house, and Earth was looking in from the outside. And yet, still no attack had come, because Earth wasn't trying to destroy. It was doing something far more terrifying. It was watching, studying, and waiting. The council decided to pause the war plans. Publicly, they told their people that peace was being negotiated privately. They began deleting files, wiping networks, hiding anything that might trigger Earth's attention. But it was too late, because the next morning, across every council world, this message appeared on screens, walls, towers, and even the sky itself. We were never your enemy. But now we are no longer your ally. We walk alone. From that day on, Earth didn't speak again. But their ships still moved. Their presence still grew. And the galaxy realized the truth. This war had already ended before it even began, because Earth had won without firing a single shot. The war never started, but something even stranger happened instead. Peace, not the kind the council expected, not through meetings or treaties, not with signatures or promises. This peace came quietly, and only from Earth. A signal was received by everyone, not through channels, not over comms. It just appeared on every terminal, every broadcast system, every personal device in the galaxy. A single human voice spoke. We are not your rulers. We are not your servants. There's something new, and we offer this once, the human accord. Then, without warning, a wave of changes began. Earth, ships massive, floating silently started, appearing in the ruins of forgotten worlds. No weapons drawn, no demands made. They started rebuilding. Planets that had been torn by war began to glow again. Water flowed. Cities came back from Ashdod, but no humans were seen. Only machines, smooth black drones, floating towers of light. Silent engineers that never spoke, never stopped, never failed. And everywhere they worked, one symbol remained: the Earth. People began to ask why. Why help after betrayal? Why save those who feared them? Why fix what the galaxy had broken? The council called a session. They had no answers. No one did. Then, on the edge of the old Gorloth expanse, a strange thing happened. An unaligned planet, ravaged by poverty and warris, received a shipment. No name, no sender. Inside the container was a perfect fusion core, medical nanites, food generators, learning tablets for children. No message, except one line: from Earth with memory. More shipments followed, small planets, poor colonies, outposts left behind. All were given aid. Silent aid. The Arkan Dominion called it manipulation, but their own people disagreed. One Arkan child, saved by Earth MedTech, said they left us behind. Earth came back, and slowly cracks formed in the Council's power. Entire systems started refusing Council orders, not with guns, with loyalty to Earth. Not because Earth asked, but because it acted. Humanity had built something stronger than weapons. It had built trust. Even enemies of Earth started to reconsider. A former pirate queen from the Crimson Belt sent a public message. I once sold Earth tech on the black market. They could have killed me. Instead, their machines fixed my dying sister. I don't care what the Council says. They're better than any of you. On Zenith Prime, fear turned to confusion. Was this strategy? Revenge? Control? No one could tell. Then another signal came. It was short. A voice again, calm, familiar. The human accord is simple. We will not rule. We will not obey. We'll walk alone. If you ask for help, we may answer. Once. But understand this. We remember what you did. Do not try again. Then came something even more strange. Human ambassadors appeared not in the council, but on small worlds, neutral planets, forgotten space stations. Each said the same thing. We do not want to return. We do not want your power. We came only to offer help if you are ready to accept it. Some worlds accepted, some refused. Humanity didn't argue. It simply left. And the ones who accepted, their worlds began to change overnight. New farms,
Clean
energy, gravity stabilizers, cures for long-lost diseases, all gifted. All without control? One planet's leader asked, "Why are you doing this?" The human responded, "Because we were once like you." The council tried to stop it. They sent patrols, threats, warnings, but Earth didn't fight back. It just continued to move forward, and the galaxy had a choice: cling to the past or walk into the future alone. Or with Earth watching silently from the shadows, they called it the Human Accord. A one-sided offer. A quiet hand, no conditions, no control, only memory. And behind that memory, quiet warning: don't make us your enemy again, because this time, there will be no second silence. The galactic core had always been the heart of everything trade, power, and politics. All great empires built their cities and star palaces there. It was the safest place in the galaxy. That was before Earth walked away. Now, that same heart was beating slower. Lights dimmed in entire sectors. Systems flickered. And fear spread faster than any virus. Admiral Jarnock of the Venturi Republic stood in the command tower of Core Command. Nexus. He stared at the reports scrolling on the screens. Ship after ship was vanishing. Entire fleets lost contact. Patrols sent to investigate never returned. "What do you mean the stars are breaking?" he asked one of the young analysts. The analyst's hands shook. "It's the humans, sir. They are not attacking with ships. They are tearing apart the rules of physics. Gravity wells appear from nothing. Planets disappear, warp routes collapse, nothing makes sense." The room fell silent. Jarnock looked at the galactic map. Every empire that had voted against Earth at the council was being hit. Not with weapons, but with something far worse. Time itself had started to bend. "Bring in the Science Council," he ordered. Now, but the scientists had already gone silent too. Far above the core, a ripple spread through space like a wave. No ship had ever caused that. No species had ever survived inside one. But something was coming. Something massive. Then the core's outer perimeter defenses reported a visual. A black shape, darker than space, wider than a moon. It didn't broadcast signals. It didn't respond to calls. It moved slowly, like it was watching, waiting. Jarnock zoomed in. His blood turned cold. It wasn't a ship. It was Earth's moon, or ... It looked like Earth's moon. But it had engines, the size of continents, and inside its metal skin, something was pulsing. "It's not a weapon," one voice whispered behind him. "It's a message." All screens across the core turned black, then a single symbol appeared. A burning circle. Humanity's symbol for closure. The core AI systems began to shut down. Not hacked, overwritten. The defense grid folded. Space stations stopped spinning. Every government line went dead. And then, total silence. It was the silence that made it worse. The humans weren't attacking. They weren't even angry. They were finished. The betrayal at Zenith Prime had broken something inside them. They had walked away from the galaxy, but they hadn't stopped building. Earth had become something else, something the galaxy no longer understood. And now the galaxy was paying the price. One by one, central planets of each empire began vanishing from the network. No explosions. No wreckage. Just empty space where a star system used to be. Jarnock knew it then. The humans weren't just erasing enemies. They were deleting history. They were making the galaxy forget it had ever betrayed Earth. A new message appeared on every surviving console. In the core, we asked for peace. You asked for power. You chose war. Now we choose silence. The last thing Jarnock saw before the tower lights went dark was a planet-sized shape slowly drifting past their moon. No sound. No light, just a quiet shadow moving through space. Earth hadn't fallen. It had evolved, and now it no longer cared who watched. The galaxy had gone quiet. After Earth walked away, everything changed. Trade routes collapsed. Alliances broke. The Great Council tried to act strong, but deep down, they were afraid. Every major empire had tried to contact Earth again but got nothing in return. No messages, no warnings. It's just silence. But that silence was louder than any war cry. On the edge of the galaxy, the Ilarian Republic's high command gathered. Holograms showed the latest scans. Entire sectors where stars had vanished. Planets that once held life were now glassed wastelands. Still no signal? Asked General Vero, staring at the black void that used to be Sector V-19. No, sir, said the technician, but something moved in there. A gravitational wake. Massive. Could it be Earth? Vero whispered. Meanwhile, deep in an old human colony, buried beneath the crust of a dead moon, a message blinked on an ancient console. Initiate Phase Omega. The machine had waited 2 years for that command. It had no crew, no guards, only a purpose. And now it woke up. Across hundreds of forgotten listening posts, satellites hidden in asteroid belts and black holes began sending out silent pulses. Not words, not warnings. Just a signal Earth's true allies would understand, in the galactic core. Panic spread in secret. On Seraph Prime, Counselor Reek stood at a window, watching thousands of ships evacuate. He turned. To his assistant, "Did we make a mistake?" The assistant hesitated. "We forced Earth into isolation. And now no one can predict what they'll do." "We never feared them when they spoke," Reek muttered. "But now they say nothing, and I can't sleep at night." Suddenly, the lights in the chamber flickered. All comms went down. Holograms vanished. Every single council system blacked out, and in the cold, dark silence, one image appeared on every screen. A cracked planet. Earth. Glowing red. Back in the outer rim, the crew of the Avenant, a mining ship, received the same image. But they saw more. Something massive drifted out of the Oort expanse. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't a station. It was a moving fortress the size of a small moon, covered in old Earth flags, rusted weapons, and a symbol burned into its side. A shattered council seal. "Is that human?" asked one crewman. The captain stood frozen. "I think Earth has stopped waiting." The message from Earth was clear now. They weren't coming to talk. They were coming to end it. Not in rage, not in revenge, but with a final silence. A silence that would fall over every empire that betrayed them, because the last war would be the quietest of all in the galaxy. Never speak of Earth again. Not because they forgot, but because they feared even whispering the name.